We're not waiting for opportunity. We create an opportunity. We're not waiting for opportunity. We create an opportunity. Goody was goody. So I caught myself, I guess you could say, worrying or concerned with my next steps. What's next, or what I gotta do next. And I spoke to my mother, and she brought a reminder to me in like one of the videos I was saying about choosing your hard times. And my own like thing came back to me, and how my mother said it was, she didn't say that, but she said, you made plans and you made a goal to be at a certain place, and you're there. And now you're already pushing to the next or concerned about the next, compared to standing still and enjoying where you are for the moment. She didn't say become complacent, but she said to enjoy the moment. She said, the problem is, because she was like, I don't want to be her age and be looking to enjoy the moments now. She said she wished she would have known when she was younger to enjoy the moments of her fruits and of her labor. Because like we say, life is a journey, and let's enjoy the journey. And it had me thinking, and I was like, man, like I was just talking about this in one of my videos. I got this one of my topics. I'm thinking about this all the time. I say it's about the journey, not the finish. Because during the journey, you can see things. You see different things. I don't know. I used to enjoy car rides when I wasn't driving. But even now when I'm driving with the wife and kids, or if my wife's driving, because I took a car ride with my wife, my kids, my mother, and my mother-in-law, and it was super cool. Like we went out to like the West Coast, and we were driving, and we were talking, we were laughing, we were joking, we were eating food, listening to different music. People taking little naps. We did a stop at this, this little town at the store, and just talking. And it was just a good vibe. We're looking around, especially looking around at different things and, different fields, different towns, different houses, just seeing different things that's coming upon that we haven't seen, well, we don't see every day before we get to where we're going to. And it was cool. It was nice. It was fun. And that's what it reminded me of with life, of what we're going to do and enjoying the journey when we're doing the goal. Because the journey part, right? You have the start, you have the journey, right? The duration, and you have the finish, or the arrival is what I like to call it. And to start, sometimes we get stuck there at the start. We get a plan in our heads, we get an idea. We get so caught up on trying to be so cautious, and so many reasons why we're not ready to start, the duration, the journey, because we don't have this, we need this, it said we need this. We get so collecting so much information that we need, instead of just taking the journey, right, with as much as we have. But then once we have that start, we have what we need, and we say, okay, we're good with this, and we're gonna go. And we have the plan, right? Because the plan is the start, the plan. The plan will get adjusted during the journey. And it was that which you have to trust your plan during your journey. Did you pack enough for this trip? Do you have enough supplies? And if you don't, how will you adjust on the trip? What are some things can you run into? But on the trip, the journey, you should be looking around. You should be on the plane looking through the window, right? Looking at the clouds, right? Looking at the land down there, looking at the water, looking at the islands, looking at the different cars and people, just seeing the difference of it, right? Even if you're on the East Coast, for say, right, and you're on a plane and you're going to the West Coast and you're traveling, you know, you've never been to the West Coast before, you'll see the sands, like you'll see the desert. It looks totally different. You feel like, man, it's like a Wild Wild West movie. It's just intriguing, right? When you come from the West to the East, you're looking like you've seen all these big buildings, you've seen all these different things. You're like, man, it's just different, the city, right? And you get to enjoy that and take that in. When you're doing a journey, like you need to take in what lessons you can gather from that. You know, what knowledge, what wisdom, because the knowledge you took was the planning. Now the wisdom is what you're doing on the journey because you're gaining the experience. And then when you arrive, you now have the understanding or the overstanding. But what happens is we arrive, what we call the finish, and now it's on to the next. We didn't take any time to sit at that finish with that trophy and we're like, job well done, and have a couple toasts to it, or take a good look at the view of where you went to if you're mountain climbing, right? We don't do that. We kind of just jump to the next instead of just taking it in and trusting your plans. Because sometimes we're rushing because we're afraid that we got here and it's not going to last. So we got to get something else going around it. My mother said she came up in the era where, you know, they weren't taught big about planning, like how we learned a lot about planning now. You know, it was just like right here now, let's get this done now, let's just do this now, this is for now, this is for now, or, you know, hand to mouth. Even though my mother was doing well for herself, but it was just still now, compare that. I planned this here, like I'm good. Let me just enjoy this a little bit before I go on to the next stage. So we got to trust our planning, the start that we put on, and we have to trust that we can adjust during the journey. You know, that it's going to give us wisdom from the knowledge that we built and get there to the arrival and enjoy that moment. Enjoy those moments throughout life. We can't wait till we 60, 70 years old and we retire and say, hey, we finished with stuff. Now I'm going to, you know, you've had a whole life to enjoy the moments of your goals, of the thoughts you had in your mind, your ideas. I'm not just talking about the parties and whatnot and so forth. Unless your idea is you're a party planner or something like that, you know what I mean? Or you do clubs, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. And you got this plan to do all this stuff, then that's great, then that's it. Enjoy that. You know what I mean? But enjoy those victories when your plan worked out or when you reached there, you know? Don't measure yourself up to anyone else. And I told some mother as well, and she's like, speaking, we're talking, and she's saying, my great-grandfather, her grandfather used to say, a man on a ladder doesn't look up to the top because he's going to fall. He takes step by step, step by step, step by step, until he gets to the top. He doesn't just look up to the top and just keep going up, and then you miss and slip a step, and then you don't know how far you're going to fall down. Go step by step, step by step. Only other step he's worried about, concerned about, is the next step in front of him. Next step in front of him. And then when he gets to the top, he looks around and he looks down, right? One, to be aware of where you are, right? Because as human, like, how far are we up? To make sure I'm cautious of where I'm at. But let's be honest, to be aware of where we are. So when we get to a point of a planning that we made and we got there, let's take a look down of where we are, how high up we are, where we are right now, who we are right now. You know what I mean? who we are in the life that we're living right now. You know, because we've always been this person. It'll never change. It's just to accept it in that moment. You know, when she said that to me, I thought of people rock climbing to get to the top. They got to focus on the things that's around them, right? They can't get ahead of themselves, or they can slip and fall, or they can over gauge the distance that they have to stretch or to walk, or how much rope they have. They got to take it step by step. And each step they make it, they probably look down. Man, I made it, right? I mean, each time they grapple onto another rock and get to another point, and they look down and say, man, I made it higher, right? And they may look behind them and be like, man, that looks beautiful. Look around and say, man, that looks beautiful. That's how I took it. That you're trying to get to the top in your life. But don't rush to the top. The air is thin up there anyway, right? You need to adjust. You need to give your body time to adjust, your mind time to adjust, yourself time to adapt to the higher climates so it won't be difficult for you. You need to also make sure you're going up with awareness and safety, not just urgency, right? Because urgency, you can slip and fall to your death. You know, and that's how people end up having a lot of stress and worries in life. So take your time that each step that you make up that mountain, each climb you make, look down, look around, see how far you went. Take your time to the next one. You get there, look around, see what's going on, so you can adjust for the change of the air when you get to the top. So when you get to the top, you're not just going to leave the top of the mountain, are you? You're just going to go right back down only? That's what you're going to do? You're going to get to the top of the mountain and just go right back down. That's what you're going to do. Now, what you're going to do when you get to the top of that mountain? What you going to do? You're going to take it in. You're going to take it in. So look at your goals, and when you arrive to them, think of it just like the top of that mountain. I don't care if it's a hill or if it's a mountain. Look at where you came from and where you are. Look and see how much you've conquered and became already. Understand that. Don't be in a rush and a haste. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your moment. Death is coming. Don't rush to it. Don't run to your grave. Enjoy it. Enjoy your moment. Enjoy your life. That's what we say. We're not waiting for opportunity. We create an opportunity. We're not waiting for opportunity. We create an opportunity.